Without headphones still.
Yes, well.
But that's okay.
Become a subscriber and we'll invest in a new pod mic setup and an air conditioner for our pod room. Because right now you can probably hear the fucking fan.
It's boiling.
What can we do?
Yes.
What can we do? We have to stay alive. We've got a fan.
Yes.
Merry fucking Christmas! Because this will come out Christmas week. So Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you all.
No worries.
Hope you have a great day. Get lots of presents and that you survive your familial interactions. You know, if you choose to go, and if you don't go, well done for self-care. Appreciate you all. We've also got the candle of the day, which is from my advent calendar.
3 different ones.
3 different. One is, what is it? Spiced orange and clove, Christmas themed, of course. Eucalyptus and cedarwood, and frankincense and myrrh. The 3 wise men of it all, you know?
I like that. Myrrh. With a T at the end?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, no, a H. M-Y-R-R-H. Myrrh?
Yes.
Anyway.
Mirth. 90s.
All right, so today we're doing one of Olivia's. It's not very Christmassy themed, but I feel like you need a long one for your Christmas travels anyway.
This is a long one, and I was quite excited to write a long final episode for the year.
Yeah, we're going out with a bang.
Quite excited.
It's nothing cheery or happy, but you know what? What the fuck are you
That's
here
not
for?
what
if
we're
not for
about
misery?
anyway, so...
Well, listen to this on your way to your Christmas event and think about how lucky you are to keep your children. Before we start, Olivia, would you like to open your gift?
Oh, it's so heavy.
Got a little Chrissy gift for Olivia.
Oh my God,
that I think will be right up her alley. So
I'm scared. What if I hate
describe
it?
What you're seeing. What if you hate it?
What if I hate it? Okay, so it's covered in koalas and kangaroos. Australian.
Very cute.
What the fuck is this?
She's so excited. I love it. I love it.
You are joking. You're joking.
You will never
Where
run
did you
out.
get this?
I bought a box set.
A box? Sick.
Granted, it's probably not your favourite flavour, but I was like, it's mine.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure Max will like it. I don't
They're
know.
for you. They're not for Max.
I know, but I'm just thinking like...
I'm single-handedly committed to your demise.
Oh my God. This is
Merry Christmas.
Insane.
Kill yourself.
Wow.
Joking.
What should I get you? Some meth or something? I'll get you a bag of
Get me
meth
some
and a
fucking rack.
pipe.
Cut.
Oh my God.
Cut.
Oh my God.
Strike that from the record.
Move that off the
Do you like it or not?
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
good. Great.
That is probably one of the most interesting Christmas presents I've ever had.
Did we even say what it was?
Oh yeah, it's just a bunch of blackberry ice vapes.
How many of them? 6.
6.
Oh.
I can't complain.
6
Thank you.
blackberry vapes and a partridge.
Now I need to think what to get you.
In a partridge. Don't
I was
think too hard
gonna
on it. It's
I
fine.
know. You've just given me
I
that.
just thought it would be hilarious.
It is good. I've sent it to Max.
I'll
He'll
take a
like it.
jewellery item.
I was thinking that, but you see,
Yeah.
you like gold.
I do like gold. Do you not do gold? Do you not do
I do solid gold, but that's so expensive.
expensive?
You're looking at like
That's all right.
hundreds of dollars.
I'll do a ring. Something that's like one of a kind. No one else will ever have it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd love that.
And I need to think of what to get your children.
Don't worry about them. They're getting enough. Hunter's getting a PlayStation 5 and Ruby's getting a fucking hoverboard. Do you know what they are? Those platforms with 2 wheels and they go and all the oldies on TikTok break their hips on them.
Yeah,
She's
one
getting
of
one
those.
Yep.
Okay.
It's hot pink.
Should we begin?
Yes, we should.
So we have an episode here today.
By the way,
Yeah.
we have our first subscriber.
Oh my God, yes, I saw that. How exciting. Thank you.
Jess Pendlebury, thank you so much, Queen, for our first $5. Olivia and I were talking about framing it.
Yes. A note.
Framing a $5 note and putting it up on the wall.
I'd love that.
I think that's iconic. Anyway,
The
go.
best $5 ever.
The first of many, hopefully. Manifestation.
Okay. I shall begin this episode with a newspaper excerpt that reads the following.
Okay.
John Makin and his wife, The subjects of our illustration have been convicted of murder in connection with the most sensational instance of baby farming, which the record of Australia can produce.
Oh, wow.
It will be remembered that no fewer than 14 bodies of infants were last year dug out of the backyards of premises which had been occupied by the Makin family. And it was suspected that the accused were connected with the death of all of the infants found. This trial excited a good deal of attention and extended over several days, the accused being found guilty of the murder of the infant Horace Amber Murray.
Wow.
Certain points were reserved for the decision of the full court, and judgment was delivered on March 30th, the accused at its conclusion being sentenced to death. Mrs. Makin, as our illustration shows, broke down utterly as her doom was pronounced, but John Makin preserved the cool, unmoved attitude which has characterised him all through.
Hashtag narcissist.
Yeah. So that's a little newspaper excerpt.
Or
Give you a
psychopath,
little taste of what I'll be covering.
Cool.
All right, so here we go. Upon the couple's arrest, police discovered the remains of 15 infants that had been buried in the yards of multiple different houses in which the Makins had resided.
Wow.
Autopsies were unable to determine the exact causes of death for any of the infants, but it is believed that each child had been stabbed in the heart with a large needle, hence the nickname the Hat Pin Murders.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Now, let's go back to the origins of both John and Sarah Makin. John was born on the 14th of February 1845 near Wollongong in New South Wales and was the son of an assigned convict, William Makin, and his wife Ellen. John was the fourth of 11 children
God damn.
that were born to his parents between 1838 and 1860. Sarah was born on the 20th of December 1845 in Sydney to Emmanuel Sutcliffe and Ellen Murphy. Her father was a miller and also a former convict. Together, John and Sarah went on to have at least 10 children, 5 sons and 5 daughters.
Wow.
John worked as a drayman, who was someone who rides the horse and cart. So he worked for a local brewer in town, pulling the horse and cart. But in November of 1881, he was convicted of stealing and he was sentenced to 3 months in prison. In 1885, he found employment as a driver of a greengrocer's van. However, in May of 1886, while driving one of his usual routes on Elizabeth Street, John knocked down a 4-year-old child who was crossing the street with his van.
Oops.
The child suffered a concussion and was reported to be in a precarious condition. After John was injured in another work-related accident, the couple unfortunately turned to baby farming as a source of income, which was the practice of taking in and taking care of illegitimate babies in exchange for money. John was described as by no means an industrious man, who in the few years prior to 1892 had not done much work. John Makin's last known employment was for a man named Mr. R. Bedford of Great Buckingham Street in Redfern, a livery stable proprietor and mail contractor. Mr. Bedford employed him as a driver in November of 1891, but the man never appeared to have much heart in his work, and he resigned from his position after just 6 weeks. Neighbours of the Makins all said that John was fond of boasting that he as a person possessed of some private means, and he was usually to be seen idling about in front of the house. It was reported that John received £1 a week from a property in Wollongong that he had inherited from his mother, who had died in 1890. But in spite of this, the family always seemed to be miserably poor.
Sounds like he was a fucking drunk.
Yeah,
He hit a
just
child while he was
lazy
driving.
loser.
He used to drive around booze, so maybe he used to drink some of
Yeah,
it.
right?
He sounds like a lazy
I mean, it's
bum.
the 1880s. No?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure everyone was drunk all the time back then.
that's
that
a
was the
fair
way of
call.
life. They didn't drink water, they just drank wine and beer.
Whiskey.
Yeah. In October of 1892, news broke about the discovery of 2 infant bodies buried in the yard of a house in McDonaldtown, while the Makin family were living at number 6 Wells Street in Redfern.
Okay.
In the Makin household, there was John and Sarah, their 2-year-old son Cecil, also known as Tommy, and 2 of their daughters, Blanche and Florence.
much.
aged 18 and 17. Such a strange name.
Cute.
Two of their other sons, William, aged 20, and Percy, aged 12, had been living together in Wollongong for some time past. Clarice, aged just 16, was no longer living with the family, as she had
Hello,
left
Clarice.
to work as a domestic servant in another household in early July of 1892. Sarah's daughter from her first marriage was named Minnie, and had married and had had a quarrel with the Makins some time ago, so they were no longer in contact.
Okay.
Another daughter named Daisy, aged 11, also lived apart from the family. Now the baby farming. On the 12th of February 1892, 19-year-old Miss Agnes Ward, a domestic servant living at Cook's River, gave birth to a male child named Charles Ward. She put in an advertisement on the 27th of April for a kind lady to adopt her baby boy. The next day, John and Sarah Makin with their daughter Daisy met with Miss Ward and Charles, agreeing to adopt the infant for £5 and promised to be very kind to it. John claimed he adopted the child to fill the gap of losing his own child, Johnny. It's not very healthy.
Okay.
They promised Agnes they would send her their new address so she could visit the infant, but they never did. His body was marked C and was found buried at 109 George Street in Redfern.
Wow.
Another lady, Clara Risby, was a domestic servant living at Woolloomooloo and gave birth to a baby girl in 1892 at the Benevolent Asylum. She too placed an advertisement in the evening newspaper seeking a kind person to adopt a baby girl for life, offering a premium of £5. The baby ended up being handed over to the Makins at their house, after which Clara Risby's address was left with the Makins. She came to visit once, but then on the second visit was told that they were out together with the child. When she attempted to visit a third time, she found the house completely empty.
Uh-oh. Suspicious.
This is number 2, second baby.
Yeah, wow.
Then comes Mary Stacey, another domestic servant. So all these women back then,
No
they all
power.
worked as domestic servants. That's the
Yeah.
only thing you could do, right?
Yeah. And the second lady sounds like she was in an asylum or something.
Yes.
So she might not have had any choice with handing over that baby. Could have been the
Yes.
staff as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, or she could have been raped by someone there
Yeah.
as well and gotten pregnant.
Not in sound mind enough to look after it. Although I doubt it. Back in the day, they just chucked women in for any old reason.
Of course. Then came Mary Stacey, also a domestic servant, who gave birth to a baby girl in 1892. She too advertised for someone to adopt her child and ended up receiving a letter from the Makins offering her £3 to take the child. However, this time they gave a fake surname, Ray.
Okay.
Stacey visited with her baby at 109 George Street in Redfern, where all of the Makins professed to take a great fancy to the baby and kissed it affectionately.
Ew.
Sarah and Mary agreed to the adoption, and Mary handed over her infant at a later date. A few days later, John and daughter Blanche came to Mary's place with the child, informing her they were going to move to Hurstville. Stacey later visited their house in Redfern, but discovered it empty, then going on to search for the family in Hurstville, but without any success.
Wow.
She then informed police that the Ray family had disappeared with her child.
And they were like, who the fuck are they?
Yeah. So they meet the baby a few days later, infant swap, whatever you want to call it. And then Mary comes to visit and they say, we're moving. And then she tries to visit again and they are not there.
Yeah.
And she starts to worry. Then there was infant Elsie Todd, who was the daughter of Agnes Todd, a domestic servant who gave birth to baby Elsie in December of 1891. In June 1892, Agnes Todd paid John Makin £3 for him to take the child, who he collected from the child's previous carer, Maria Sutherland, who lived in Alexandria, the day before they moved to MacDonaldtown. Makin reportedly told the child's mother that he would be a good father to the child.
Lies.
Second last came Horace Amber Murray, the infant son of Amber Murray. In 1892, 18-year-old Miss Amber Murray gave birth to Horace and 2 months later placed an advertisement in the Sydney Morning Herald newspaper in search of a motherly person to adopt her baby boy and offered to pay a small premium. On the same day as the advertisement appeared in the newspaper, a letter from John and Sarah Makin was sent to Amber, expressing their willingness to adopt the child for £2 to £3 and give him a mother's love and attention.
Jesus.
The Makins apparently told Miss Murray that he, meaning Horace, was the kind they would like to have, as they had lost a little boy of their own.
They're milking that, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, he's the kind of child we'd love to have. It's a bit
And they
weird to
definitely
say,
lost.
isn't it?
Did they definitely lose a son?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
Apparently.
Or they're just lying about it.
Could have been still... I'm not sure. There was no
mention.
I couldn't find
So they're
anything.
lying.
Potentially, yes.
Fucking hell.
But also could have been like a stillborn or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Soon afterwards, Horace was handed over together with a payment of £3 and adoption papers.
Wow.
Makin at first said that he did not understand the adoption papers, but then he read and signed them.
Dumb
First
fuck.
as John Leslie, which he scratched out, and then signed his name as Hill.
Sus.
Yeah. So we've got Leslie, Ray, Hill.
Makin.
Yeah, we've got all these last names going now.
Yeah.
Miss Murray said her final goodbyes, and this was the last time she ever saw her son. Within a couple of days, the Makins had relocated to Burren Street in MacDonaldtown.
I bet.
Just moving around.
Yeah.
Lastly, there was Mignonette Bothamley, who was the infant daughter of Minnie Davis and Horace Bothamley. They all have like similar
Wow.
names.
Mignonette.
Horace, Minnie, Mignonette, blah,
That's
blah,
crazy.
blah.
Maybe Minnie is short for Mignonette.
It is.
Oh.
So Mignonette, she named her after her grandmother, apparently.
Ah.
But
I
then,
didn't know that. There was
yes,
so
there's
many...
like Mignonette, 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 but then it was called Minnie. Yeah.
Okay.
Minnie Davis was a domestic servant living in Paddington who gave birth to a baby girl. Minnie placed an advertisement in the Sydney Morning Herald looking for a kind person to adopt her child. John Makin answered the ad using the surname Bert. It's his fifth surname now. The following day, the couple went to the Makins' residence to hand over the baby for 10 shillings a week and told the parents that they could see Mignonette any time they wanted.
Up until we kill her and bury her in our backyard.
Yeah,
That
and
is.
disappear on you.
Just quickly, Minnie Davis. That is one of the victims in the Jane Toppin
I
as
know,
well.
such a
Yeah.
familiar name. I thought
Yeah.
so.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, there's lots of names
She
that are
was
the
in
same.
the 1800s as well.
Yes.
I wonder
it
if
was-
she ended up being killed by...
Maybe she travelled to England.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, you're right. So
Yeah, it was in England.
different, yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Hey, I was just pondering that fact and then I was like, oh no, different continent.
I thought her name
Same
sounded
time,
familiar,
though.
actually.
Yeah.
All right. They then left the baby with some clothing with the Makin family. 2 days later, Minnie Davis returned with more clothing and to visit the baby. However, the next time she attempted to visit, they found that the family had moved to MacDonaldtown. They found out their new address and went there a week later to see the child, paying another 10 shillings. The couple began to visit every Saturday and pay the weekly stipend, but during one visit discovered the Makins' real surname when they saw a card that read Mrs. Makin, ladies' nurse and qualified midwife.
Uh-oh, she was a fucking nurse.
She was a nurse and midwife.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. The Makins then admitted to deceiving them, and on the 23rd of July, 1892, the couple was informed that the infant was sick with a cold. Then the following Saturday, the child was very ill, and Makin told the parents that he would be taking her to the doctor on Monday. However, a few days later, John Makin sent a telegram to the parents saying that the child had died.
That is so suspicious.
not
how
dodgy
could
at
you
all.
not just immediately take your kid back once you figured out they'd lied about their last name? Like, what the fuck? Come on, guys.
This is so sad to me that couples had to live this way.
Yeah,
That
rock in
they
a hard place.
Felt that they
Yeah.
had to give up their child, and then they. And I felt it was not. I thought it was quite nice that they were visiting the child every week.
Every week. But they
They
were
really-
paying to see.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, to support the child,
Yeah.
you know. But, like, what kind of parent back then that gives up their child would want to see their child every week? That says
One
a
that
lot to
can't
me.
fucking afford to keep it.
Yeah, but really wants and loves their child
Yes.
still, yeah? They really, I think they
Definitely.
really
Many people
love
do
this
that.
child. Yeah, they didn't just fuck off the kid and was like, bye. They actually wanted to be involved with the child's life. They just couldn't take care of it. And unfortunately, this poor child went to the fucking Makin family.
Yeah, unfortunate as fuck.
Anyway, so Minnie's poor baby passes away. Okay. On Thursday, the 4th of August, the parents arrived with flowers to view their baby's body, whose body was laid out on a board and enshrouded in a long white gown. John Makin said to Minnie Davis, "Perhaps it's better that it did die. Perhaps it's better that it did die."
Because why? Any follow-up to that statement? Fucking idiot. Perhaps it's better if you die.
Maybe
sir.
because he thought, oh, it's sick, so maybe it's better that it died and not suffered.
Yeah.
Not really sure.
Keep telling
where
yourself
he
that,
went with
cunt.
that. But when asked about the cause of death, John replied, it wasted away. I will have no bother in getting a certificate from the doctor. He claimed he had ordered a coffin and that he would bury the infant for the price of £2.
The £2 was the shovel.
Yeah, right?
Like, I'll buy a shovel for £2 and bury it in my fucking veggie garden.
On Tuesday, the 11th of October, 1892, two men named James Mahoney and Frank Cooney were digging a trench in the backyard of 25 Byron Street, McDonaldtown, in order to connect a service pipe from the house to the sewer, when James Mahoney found very much decomposed remains buried under 6 inches of earth that he thought was a cat.
Yep.
The following morning, James Mahoney also found the body of a female infant buried under about a foot of earth, about 27 metres away from the remains he had found the day before. This caused the men to now conclude that the bodies were likely that of infants. The bodies were described as being very much decomposed and had evidently been interred for some months.
Yep.
The Newtown police were informed and the bodies were moved to the morgue. So they moved the bodies to the morgue and they held an inquest into their deaths, which reported that the remains were that of a male and female infant. Both were buried with their clothes on, with the female estimated to have been buried for about 6 weeks and the male for about 3 months. It was then revealed that the tenants of the house in Byron Street at the time of the discoveries had only lived there for about 3 weeks. So they could not at all have been involved in the infants' deaths and burials. So the Makins moved away real quick.
Of course they did.
His family moved in, and then 3 weeks later they discovered bodies that have been there for longer than 3 weeks.
I wonder if they signed the lease in their real name.
Probably. A few days later, the body of a decomposed male infant was discovered in a vacant allotment in Redfern near Zamia Street and Wells Street. Senior Constable Joyce was looking around the yard that the body was discovered in and noticed some recently disturbed earth when she went to look at the yard of the house on Wells Street where the Makins had previously been living. She dug at this spot but found it to be empty, and a conclusion was reached that the body found in Zamia Street had likely been dug up and relocated. The body was too decomposed to ascertain the cause of death, and the inquest concluded an open verdict of found dead.
Yep.
The inquest was transferred to the coroner's court and put before the coroner and a jury. God, I can't speak. Where the 2 workmen who had discovered the first 2 bodies gave evidence. Sarah Makin also testified, claiming that after the day of moving into the McDonaldtown house, she took in a female child, about 2 weeks old, to wet nurse and be paid 10 shillings a week for. She claimed that the mother took it away and said she was going to Melbourne.
Nice.
Also then claiming that this child was the first and only one she had ever taken in.
Nice.
John Makin corroborated the testimony of his wife in every particular.
Oh, of course.
The city coroner, John Waugh, told the jury that this was a case surrounded by suspicion, and there was no doubt that the bodies had been placed there secretly. Ultimately, the medical evidence showed that the female infant had been stillborn and the male baby was aged from 5 to 8 months and had been dead for between 3 to 6 months. The jury only deliberated for a few minutes and returned an open verdict to the effect that the evidence did not enable a determination of how the infants had died. Sarah Makin advertised her services as a midwife from the 29th of June 1892 to the 16th of August 1892.
So they went off the baby farming for a bit after the
little
court.
bit, yeah.
That would have made them shit their pants a little bit, I'm sure.
Yep. So she advertised her services while the family lived at 25 Byron Street in McDonaldtown. After that, they moved to 6 Wells Street, Redfern, where they were visited by Senior Constable Joyce on the 12th of October following the discovery of the babies, causing the family to soon afterwards then move to a house in Chippen Street in Chippendale.
Okay.
This is like move number 4 or 5 or something.
Yep.
On the 2nd of November, Senior Constable James Joyce and Constable Alexander Brown, plainclothes officers from Newtown Police Station, visited the house in Byron Street and started digging in the yard, where they found 5 additional babies' bodies.
So they moved away and the cops were like, let's go check their fucking backyard.
Yeah, we can really have a proper look now.
Yeah, true. Smart.
Oh, they're moving again. Oh, wonder why.
Suspicious.
Oh, again? Oh, interesting.
Why? Why you move?
Do you need to move that much?
No, you don't. The fuck?
It's not like your leases expire after 6 months back then.
It's more like 6 days, though, for them.
Yep. All right, so they found 5 additional bodies at Byron Street.
Wowzers.
The next afternoon, on the 3rd of November, Joyce arrested John Makin and his daughters Blanche and Florence at the Chippendale house and took
Okay.
them to Newtown Police Station. Sarah was already there, having already been arrested at Parramatta.
Period.
Blanche disclosed during questioning that she recollected that her mother had 3 infants to care for at one time.
Yeah.
Blanche had only mentioned one child being cared for by Sarah in the house during the trial. And when asked why she had said that there was only one child,
Yep.
she said her parents had told her to say she knew nothing about any other children having been in the house.
Trust your kids to fucking
Yeah.
dob you in. I mean, if Ruby was given the chance to air out all of my dirty laundry, she would do it. And she does on the regular to anyone who will listen.
Yeah.
My mummy did this. Can you relax?
You'll do it one day too, probably, doll.
Yeah.
John and Sarah Makin were charged on suspicion with causing the death of an illegitimate female child, the offspring of Horace, Bothamley and Minnie Davis, on or about the end of July or the beginning of August last. Blanche and Florists. Blanche and Florence were also charged on suspicion of being concerned in the death of the child in question.
How old are they at this point?
17 and 18.
Okay.
They think that they've been covering up, helping their
Possibly.
parents. So after they were charged, the Makins' youngest child, 2-year-old Cecil, was taken into the care of a neighbour. By that mid-November, searches had been carried out in multiple yards in Botany, East and Kettle Street, Bollinaming Street, St. Peter's and Howard Street.
What city is this in?
Sydney.
Oh, Sydney.
This
Okay.
is Sydney. You know, Parramatta, Newtown.
Oh, Parramatta. Yeah. Yep.
Redfern.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with their suburbs. I do know
okay.
Parramatta. Yeah.
Yeah. Redfern is a terrible crime-ridden,
Is it?
riddled
Interesting.
suburb right now, apparently. So, yeah, they carried out more searches in all these yards and different houses. However, they didn't find any more bodies. So between the 12th of October and the 12th of November, this 1 month in 1892, they found the remains of 15 infants in total.
God damn.
At 25 Burren Street, Macdonald Town, they recovered 7 infants from the yard.
Wow.
At Zamia Street, Redfern, they found 1. At 109 George Street, Redfern, they found 1 body at the Alderson Street house in Redfern.
Yep.
And finally, at 28 Levy Street in Chippendale, the remains of 2 infants were found by police in the yard near the kitchen wall, buried together.
Wow.
And little remained but the bones. As a result of the coroner's examinations, the Makins were charged with causing the deaths of 2 infant children, the child of Amber Murray and the child of Minnie Davis. They were both found guilty of manslaughter by the coroner's court and committed for trial at the Central Criminal Court. The trial began on the 6th of March 1893 before Justice Stephen. John and Sarah Makin were charged with having feloniously and maliciously murdered Horace Amber Murray and also charged with having murdered a certain male infant whose name is unknown on the same day and at the same place.
Yep.
The Makins pleaded not guilty to the charges and were defended by Thomas Williamson. John Makin sat in the dock with his arms and legs crossed during the Crown Prosecutor's address and the witnesses' evidence. Sarah Makin hid her face with a handkerchief the whole day. She cried into that thing so hard.
Pretend she was crying. One of the two.
Yeah. Witnesses included Amber Murray, who identified the clothes found on the child's remains from under the window of 109 George Street, Redfern, as those of her son.
Poor thing.
The same ones he was wearing when she handed him over.
Oh.
So he could have been in those
He would have
clothes for like days and days,
There you go. Fuck about
potentially.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, and just that was it.
Yep.
Constable James Joyce gave evidence of finding bloodstains on the infant's clothing just under the armpits and believed that the infants had been stabbed in the heart with a hat pin. They couldn't find any other way that they could have been murdered.
Jesus.
Another person that gave evidence was a horse trainer named Edward Jordan, who had been locked up in Newtown Police Station together with John Makin.
Oh, yeah.
He claimed that John told him while confined together that while 7 babies had been found, there was still an 8th that was not yet discovered.
Loose lips sink
Yeah,
ships.
right?
Why do they always do this, these men?
They're so proud of what
Brag
they've done
about
in a
their
way.
shit.
They want people to know.
To other criminals
Yeah,
who
they
think that they're going to
can't
keep
help
their
it.
secret, but they're not.
Yeah, they
because they're
can't help it.
degenerates.
I can't help it. John apparently said that when the 8th was found, he would never see daylight anymore. That was what a man got for obliging people.
Oh, shut up. You're not a victim here.
Right.
You fucking idiot.
Edward Jordan also claimed that Makin had told him no doctor could ever prove he had poisoned any of the children because he never went near a chemist.
Okay, so he also, sedated them?
Potentially.
With what? Booze?
Sounds like, they gave him
Yeah,
something.
he never went near a chemist. Okay, what? Like garden weed killer or some shit? Rat poison?
Maybe, yeah.
Poor things.
Williamson, the Makin's solicitor, proceeded to address the jury, claiming that the Crown had failed to prove a murder had been committed, that the cause of death had not been given in regard to any of the infants referred to in the evidence.
Who gives a fuck? They're dead and in their backyard, cunt.
And as such, it was an insult to their intelligence that the jury members should be asked to think that because certain children had been found dead, that the child whose death was the subject of the trial had been murdered.
Oh, okay.
So basically a bunch of legal jargon crap.
But they've got puncture wounds in their fucking chest.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's not natural.
Certainly not. Healy, the Crown prosecutor, admitted that the case was a very extraordinary and a unique one, but he considered that the jury would have no difficulty in concluding that the child had been murdered.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
The next morning, upon return to court at 10 a.m, the foreman stated that the jury had reached a verdict. Both John and Sarah Makin were guilty of the murder of Horace Murray. The foreman added that they strongly recommended mercy for Sarah Makin.
Why?
Not sure. She's a sad
She's a
little
woman.
lady. Yeah.
She's a woman.
She's a meek woman.
Women don't kill.
No,
Only
right?
the
She
men
was just
do.
doing what her husband said.
They have fragile constitutions. And they'll do whatever the head of their household says.
So they're charged as guilty. And on the 23rd of March, an appeal was made against the conviction of John and Sarah Makin and was heard before the Supreme Court. And the hearing included 3 justices and the Queen's Counsel.
What the helly?
Very official.
Because why?
They were so famous back then in this time. It was crazy.
Oh, were they?
This was
Huge news.
worldwide news.
Yeah, well.
Australia-wide news, absolute minimum. Like, everyone knew about them. Hundreds of people came to see them executed. Yeah.
I can imagine.
The grounds for the appeal were 1. That Justice Stephen was wrong in admitting evidence of finding other bodies other than Horace Murray. 2. That the judge was wrong in admitting evidence of the mothers who had given up their children to the Makins.
Okay.
3. That there was no evidence to prove the body marked D was that of Horace Murray.
I mean, true, but who gives a fuck? One of them was.
And 4. That there was no evidence of the death or cause of death of Horace Murray or any evidence that he had been murdered at all.
Okay.
I guess so in a way. They just found a buried body.
But what about the hat pin theory? Like, how did they come to that
It's
conclusion?
a theory. Because they
So there
only
wasn't
found like
cultures?
little pinpoint little bits of blood on the chest and under the armpits.
Yeah, and autopsies were limited back in the day, I guess.
Well, they did autopsies,
they were
but
bones.
they were so...
they were
yeah.
bones. They
They
weren't
were
even fucking flesh and bone.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, that makes more sense. Sounds like poison because he admitted to it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We're almost there.
What have you got there?
Cereal.
Nutrigate. Lol.
The appeal judges took a week to consider their decision and finally delivered their decision in the Supreme Court on the 30th of March, ultimately dismissing the appeal and confirming their criminal convictions even further.
Good.
On the same day as the appeal dismissal, Justice Stephen sentenced John and Sarah Makin to execution by hanging, and the charge of manslaughter was upgraded to murder.
Lovely.
John apparently stood in the dock in that semi-defiant attitude which he maintained to the last, while Justice Stevens recounted how they made promises which they never performed, already determined the death of the child, and misled people by giving false statements and deception.
Yeah, they did.
He compared the burial of the child in their yard to as you would the carcass of a dog, and declared that the Makins were engaged in baby farming in its worst phase and its most hideous and revolting aspect.
Totally.
And that the ghastly evidence from the yards in which they lived testified that you were carrying on this nefarious and hellish trade, destroying the lives of those infants for the sake of gain.
Period.
The judge mentioned that in the case of Sarah, he would forward the recommendation of mercy to the executive. Towards the end of the sentencing, Sarah Makin collapsed and had to be carried out of the court by 2 constables, crying out, "Oh, my babies! Oh, my babies!"
What the fuck?
Then there was another appeal made, in which John Makin's execution was delayed for 3 months.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Then another appeal made by him, where he pled for mercy and for a reprieve of his death sentence.
Okay, now he's freaking out.
Yeah. However, as you can guess, these appeals were unsuccessful.
Thank God.
And John Makin ended up being hung just after 9 a.m. on Tuesday the 15th of August 1893
Iconic.
on the gallows within the precincts of Darlinghurst Jail.
In Sydney.
Yeah, Darlinghurst, the port.
Great. Good. See you later.
It was reported that he appeared resigned to his fate after losing all hope for his appeals.
As
He
you
left
should
2
be.
written notes, one a statement denying his guilt and the other addressed to his children. Sarah Makin had been transferred between Darlinghurst and Bathurst jails many times during her incarceration and apparently suffered from ill health, experiencing multiple intestinal hemorrhages is what I read.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
She's shitting blood. That's
Yeah.
what it means.
So they've got hemorrhoids, polyps or bowel cancer or fucking whatever the fuck.
Or some sort of food poisoning.
However, she held a job as a hospital attendant at Bathurst Jail and apparently did okay in that.
How nice. Good for her.
However, her 2 daughters, Florence and Minnie, had serious concerns about their mother's health and wrote to the Attorney General requesting their mother's release from prison. However, their pleas were refused.
Good.
Sarah Makin was then transferred to a women's-only state prison at Long Bay. In 1911, her family began another campaign for her release due to her advanced age and declining health.
Just leave her in there. Why the fuck does she need to come out? At this point, it's probably takes more of a toll on her to be released.
Right. Except this time, the government, after special consideration, recommended her release.
Okay.
She was discharged quietly and anonymously from
I bet.
Long Bay Jail on the 29th of April 1911 into the care of her daughter Florence and her husband. Months after her release, Sarah moved in to live with her daughter Minnie, who was suffering from bowel cancer.
Okay.
She died in February 1912, and Sarah Makin remained at the house with her health continuing to deteriorate, prompting Florence and her husband to move in with her. Sarah Makin died on the 13th of September 1918. So what is that, like 7 years after she got out? Aged 72 years old, from senile decay and heart failure likely due to tertiary syphilis. And she was buried in Rockwood Cemetery.
Get syphilis and die, you old
She
hag.
still remains there till this day, I'm guessing.
Let's go desecrate the grave.
And that is the story of John and Sarah Makin. Honestly, the story could have been like 10 times as long. It was absolutely insane, the amount of information that is.
Because it was huge.
It was like the biggest thing ever, I think, in that time. Nothing like that had ever occurred here before.
Yes, yeah.
So publicly, or to such an extent, 15 babies that they found.
Wow.
Probably more.
That is insane. I'm impressed with the level of police work that went on there.
I know, back then. And
Yeah.
they had a female police officer that was
Yeah.
like the first one there who...
They sussed it out pretty quickly, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah.
They thought, why are they moving so much?
They came back and they were like, oh, we might well check the yards again as well while
Yeah,
they
let's
were...
just double check that this
Yeah.
bitch is telling the truth. She wasn't. Mm-hmm. The fact that she wasn't executed is wild to me.
Yeah.
Lying on the stand.
I wonder
all
if she
that
would have
stuff.
been like the first woman executed in Australia and that's why they weren't like brave enough. I'm not sure.
Possibly.
You know?
It would be justified though. People's children being
Yeah,
murdered,
I
you
know.
know. The public would, you know. It's just probably that thing where they don't believe women have the capacity to murder, like that old-fashioned kind of
Could be.
ideal. Yeah. It was probably that they thought that she was just influenced by her husband, you know.
She was so teary. She was crying, oh, my children, my babies, my babies.
Yes, yeah, she
my poor
manipulated the
babies."
situation quite
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, insanity.
There are so many photos of this
Is there?
couple.
Can you send them to me?
They were fucking famous. There was like so many newspaper articles, clippings, photos that I can show you.
Very interesting story. Another Sydney horror story
Yeah.
for you for your Christmas holidays. Enjoy. Thank you for listening this entire year. Have a Merry Christmas. Well
Enjoy
wishes
this.
and all that. God bless you and have a happy new year. We will see you at the end of January or maybe the 1st of Feb or the first week of Feb. You'll find out because we'll be in your ear holes. Thank you for our subscribers again. And if you wish to get your episodes early, subscribe in the new year. Hope you get lots of gifts.
And give lots of gifts.
And gifts, yes. Give and receive. Goodbye. Merry
Bye.
Christmas. See you next year. Peace.